Let me ask you something, just so I'm clear. CIA operative, Division 6, Division 7, what?
All you have to know is I'm innocent. Give me 2 days, I can prove it. I can find out who did it.
You may very well be innocent, Mr. Mills, but that's the court's job to decide. It's not mine. My job is to bring you in and let the law take its course. That's it.
Good luck.
All right, I'll add it later. And you know what sucked too? There wasn't a lot of clips from this. We'll get into it when we talk about it. But welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Sequel. This is the movie podcast where we're talking sequels, and we do it in two parts. The first, an interview with an actor or someone involved that made the film worth watching, and the second, a discussion of the sequel, what they got right, what they got wrong, and how it could have been better. Hope you enjoyed last week's interview with, again, we said it when we started this podcast almost 5 years ago. We want to talk to everyone that works on a movie, and we got somebody that we've never talked to before, a helicopter pilot, a flight coordinator for movies, the amazing Fred North. Be sure to check out his book, Flying Sideways. You can purchase it on his amazing website that has so many links to so many scenes that he filmed in movies like Extraction 2, and then he has a new one that he just posted. He can't even name what sequel it's to, but it looks pretty insane. And you can see his book, purchase it there, the videos, all at fred-north.com. And for Fred, I noticed his name at the very end of the last entry of the Taken series, which I feel I got taken for an hour and 50 minutes that I'll never get back. But before I talk about how I am so disappointed that they went away from what made the first two movies great, I got to introduce you to my partner in the sequel watching journey, Jamie Riccardi. Jamie, how are you?
I'm doing okay, Doug. How are you doing?
Good, man. I said it before we were recording. We're 3 episodes away from 300. So this is pretty wild. This will be 297 and then 3 away from 300 around Christmas. So I'll have to do a nice Christmas sequel.
Or we could do 300, the sequel.
Oh my gosh. Ugh. I told you when I was looking for a bowling sequel that might work for that, but nothing yet. But 3, Taken 3. Did you ever see this movie?
I did. I didn't remember it, so it was almost like watching it again.
Oh man.
Okay, so my take on it is okay. So I like the I love Liam Neeson. I think he's such a good badass, for his age and what he does and his voice. And, I love the first two Taken movies. This movie is kind of bittersweet. Like the action is good. I enjoy him, kicking ass. But is it really Taken? Like nothing's taken in this movie. So
taken.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like we've done a couple movies where the title doesn't really match what the movie is. And there's so many like just ridiculous, and I don't mean like ridiculous action because all his movies are ridiculous action, but there's so many things that really just are so dumb in this movie. With that being said, though, it was still enjoyable. Like, I still enjoyed the movie. It's not a great movie, but it's watchable. I mean, we've done so many movies where I had to stop at least 6 times to get through it.
Yeah,
I didn't have to do it for this one.
Yeah, no. When during like my grumbling in the beginning, it's not that it was the movie moved. It was it was an hour and 50 something minutes. It's not like I was checking. But the thing that just annoyed me, like you said, it's, and I know sequels do it, like they did it. Like we covered the Blood Fist. Like all those movies are totally different. But you know what? I would rather it just be sort of in the same realm, because he kind of makes these movies. Not obviously people are taken, but this could have been called anything, and it could have had different people in it. Because that's the only thing that tied it to the other movies.
Well, I mean, I get what they're trying to do because I mean, at this point, you took the mother, you take the daughter, you can take the grandmother next. Like it's like what are you going to take?
No, I know.
What they should have done was maybe call the movie by his name, like Jason Bourne. Like they call what's his name in the movie, like something like
Brian
that.
Mills.
So
Brian
okay,
Mills. Yeah.
so what something. I mean, well, that's an awful name for this kind of.
Let's be honest.
Character.
He's not a Brian Mills. That's like when Arnold in movies is called like Tom Smith.
Yeah,
and he's a mattress salesman or something.
Yeah. So if they called it something else related, it would be different. But like I said, like it's called Taken, but it's nothing. There's nothing taken, and this is kind of a ripoff of The Fugitive. This movie.
Oh yeah, it's exactly what it was. And you know the thing that pissed me off the most about this movie was there was no twist, even though they wanted us to think there was a twist. Right away, you knew who did it. So that's 100%. What made that scene. I'm like, Liam Neeson is doing all this insane shit. Him and his buddies, John Grease, which is great, and then the guy that came back, like DB Sweeney, who we interviewed. Yeah, he filled in for the guy in the second one, but he was back in this one. The other guy, and you're just like, okay, I like them all hanging out. They're doing insane stuff. It's like mind-blowing. They're tricking the cops, all this stuff. Oh, but he can't realize that this guy is the killer?
Ridiculous. And you know, I don't know. I don't know what the time frame is between this movie and the second movie, but like,
well, it's got to be at least 3 or 4 years because Stewart wasn't in the second one. Because if you remember because the first one and the second one, I feel are really close to the way they came out.
Correct.
But she's married to that freaking, what's that guy's name? Yeah. He's a director too, but he's a familiar face. But so she's not with this guy. And they even said they've only been together for a few years because Kim even said, I've never seen my mom so miserable for 2 years. Correct. So maybe like 3 years they were together, but it's crazy. And I knew right away. Like there was
of course. There's no question. There was no question. It's very obvious. And but I don't think they were trying to fool anyone. Again, I don't know what they were trying to do. But also, and this might get a lot of hate. I've seen a lot of movies with Forrest Whitaker. I don't think he's a good actor at all. I feel like he goes through like he almost looked like the same cop that was chasing Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport. Like that's how he That's how he acted in this movie. Like it could have been the same role. Like I just don't think like he just felt like I watching him in this movie. It's like he just got there. He was annoyed to be there every day, and he just went through the motion. Like really, like
snap,
like he didn't
snap.
I mean, that was so dumb. Like, and he was always 5 seconds behind everything. Like he's just, and he's angry at everybody. I don't know. I don't know. He kind of bothered me in this movie. Like it just, he didn't fit, what they were trying to do.
I think it's the quirky cop. I don't know why when somebody plays a detective, they always have to write the detective having a quirk, whether it be like, oh, Kojak with a lollipop, or this guy chews on carrot. They'll have like these random quirks that you're like, people really don't do that. And the fact that he does that thing the whole movie and he's playing with the rubber band, and then at the very end of the movie when he's closing the case file, he's fine. He's not fidgety anymore. I'm like, what?
And this movie also shows a lot of cops eating. Like we see, now twice. One, Forrest Whitaker goes and takes a bagel and starts eating it.
Oh my God.
Then the other guy
at
the house. Like, but he just, no one cares about evidence in this movie either. I mean, Liam Neeson picking up the knife, it made no sense, but so he's eating that. Then you see another cop eating a donut, taking time to eat a donut. Then first of all, the donut cliche. I mean, really, it was just a lot of silliness to this movie. Even Liam Neeson, I felt like, it's almost like he didn't want to do it either. Like, I feel like the actors were just doing this just, maybe for a paycheck and just, going through it. But, like, it just didn't seem like the same how they were in the other two movies.
Yeah. The bagel thing, the fact that we knew as an audience watching that it was Stewart right from the beginning, which we'll get into the movie in a second. Yeah. But and then the fact Forrest Whitaker goes, I knew the whole time. How? The bagels. Because they were still hot. Who would get bagels? Who would go out and buy bagels and then kill someone? It's like, are you serious? There's probably killers out there that buy food for someone and murder them. He's a terrible detective.
He's awful. Well, okay, I knew the whole time. Why didn't you say anything? Like, if he
so
knew the whole time,
people died in this movie.
Okay. I'm glad you brought that up because Liam Neeson, when he's purposely with a bad guy, he doesn't kill one person. However, he kills at least 100 people in this movie by different explosions, car chases, and everything else. He must have murdered so many innocent people in this movie. It was ridiculous. But all the bad guys lived.
I know. Or the cops that he beat up, because Forrest Whitaker says that, like, oh, if he could. This guy's like a trained assassin. He can kill whoever he wants. But you're right, that because for a while he wasn't killing people, and I was like, this is so stupid. Yeah. But when I think it was the car chase when like the tractor trailer, the backside, the shipping container flips
and it
over.
Crushes. Yes.
Yeah, dude. At first I was thinking, oh, it's gonna be a parked car. No, it's in the middle of the highway.
Listen, buildings exploded. I mean, how many people, how many workers are... So tons of people died in this movie. And last, before we get into the movie, Liam Neeson doesn't get a scratch on him this entire movie.
No.
Okay? So, I mean, at least like I love John Wick movies. He gets his ass kicked in every movie. He does, he's limping, he's bleeding, he's cut. He beats up everybody, just like Liam Neeson. They have the same fighting style, but he does get beat up. This guy walks away. First of all, he's like 65 years old. He walks away without a scratch.
Yeah. No, there's like no times that he's even close to.
No. I mean, when he jumps out of the window and he lands on the garbage and he just bounces off and runs.
Oh no, he doesn't land on the garbage. His back lands on the garbage. Like that would break your back.
Oh, of course it would. But he gets right up. I mean, he also is the fact that he jumped over like 4 fences in the beginning and like, it's just very silly. So, all right, let's get into this.
Very silly. So then we open up this movie, which it's really confusing. The beginning of the movie had nothing to do with the movie. No. Right? No, I think the beginning of the movie was something that they should have done. They should have had somebody from the second movie, because the first movie ties to the second one, because the second one, it was his son, right? Or father, vice versa, of the main guy he killed in the first one. So that's what the second movie, that's why Famke Janssen, who is one of the most beautiful women in the world. Yeah. When she gets taken in the second one, they should have had somebody in the second one somehow have a tie to the third one, because then that would make us think it's someone else. But now that whole beginning sequence made no sense. So they startle this guy, and it makes no sense. Like, really, I just thought about that now because I forgot about that. So the whole scene, and then how about the bad guys? The one guy's pretending to walk a dog.
Okay, first of all, the bad guys are awful because, I mean, they have machine guns and they miss the entire movie. There's nothing close. Terrible. Like, they can't do anything, and, this movie does take a little to get going because it really felt like a Hallmark movie for the first 25 minutes. It was the music was so Hallmarky. Like, it was very like, and it was just like slow and it was like, what's going on here? Like, it was just it took a while to get into. And, talk about parenting. He's an awful parent. I mean, he's great. Listen, he'd be a cool dad because, I mean, obviously you can get away with anything. And this guy's going to come in and, take care of
and kill everyone for you. Yeah.
But his daughter's in college, and the gift he decides is a teddy bear. That's like the exciting gift.
I know. And then she says, because I guess he's always predictable. Maybe he'll get her like a diamond bracelet, or like in the first movie, he got her like singing lessons from whoever the famous singer in the movie was. But no, for this one, it was a teddy bear and a bottle of champagne. Because I guess it was like her 21st.
Okay, but it was also early in the morning. So he wants to drink with her early in the morning.
Yeah, he had a leather jacket on. He was like ready to party. But real quick, back to so we talked about how nobody gets killed, like of the bad guys or the cops or anything, but a dog gets killed in the opening scene because when the guy gets thrown into his own trunk, the dead dog's in there. And then the whole scene at the bank made no sense because I even wrote down, we get him looking at what seems like the main bad guy. Is that even the Russian guy that we saw an hour later? I don't even know.
I know.
But it's so stupid.
And no one saw anything. They carried, they went through, was it a bank? They went through the whole bank. They're on the street with this guy. No one is walking or ever to see what's going on. Like, no one sees anything.
I know.
Okay.
Makes no sense. And they shoot the guy, they lock him in the safe, and then we never hear of that for the rest of the movie. Like,
so he's still there?
He's still there right now. And somebody's going to open that. Somebody's going to finally buy that bank that went out of business, and they're going to find a skeleton in there.
So that didn't come into play at all?
No.
Okay.
Even if that was the Russian bad guy, it has nothing to do with the movie. Unless somehow they deleted a scene of
it was the Russian bad guy. No, it was the Russian bad guy. It was the main bad guy.
Okay. So, but still, how does that have to do with Stewart?
No, I know.
Does Stewart know that guy? Now, if that was like Stewart's brother or Stewart's business partner?
No, it was his accountant.
Oh, that's who it was? Oh, okay.
I think so. He was an accountant. I don't know if he was Stewart's, but I'm assuming he was.
He was just an accountant.
But everything, the vault was empty, correct?
Yeah, and then he shot him.
Yeah. Did they discuss why, like, the Stewart have it hidden? Like, they didn't even was that even?
And what does Stewart do? Because all we heard was his business deals. He used a very generic term. So what is he doing that he owes the guy over $12 million? First of all, the fact that he owes the guy something around $12 million and he wasn't going to pay him after murdering his wife, he just wanted to keep that money. Like, that's the sick.
He must have, because his house is massive.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so you're right. Like, what does he do? Because his house was massive. It just, I don't know. The ties to the Russian didn't make sense, and his whole plan didn't make sense. And I mean, I don't know. It was, I don't know.
to get Lenore, all you need is a big house, because she had a monster house in the first one. As I remember him going to like his daughter's like 16th birthday or whatever it was, and there was a huge house then. So that's all you need to get her. Well, not anymore.
She's into money. Well, yeah. You know
what?
what?
Brian lives in this dumpy tiny apartment.
Well, I mean, listen. What does he do for? Is he working now?
Yeah, he's part of. Remember, the whole thing in the movie was he was getting ready to go out on a month job, like in the Middle East. So him and his four buddies. He works with them? Is it just their little? Okay. So I don't know what they do now, but the original job they did in the first one, they were like security for famous people. That was that was their thing.
But Forrest Whitaker was able to find out the name of the company that they work for, but he couldn't find any information on the people that work for the company.
Because they got wiped out by the government. It was like, you can only see that until they're 22-year-old, and they disappear. They disappear until now. And now they have a business, and I'm like, what are we doing here?
He literally was like 10 minutes behind everything in the movie. Like, he did not like. He literally was like at the place where Liam Neeson was 20 minutes earlier every single time.
I know.
That he would just,
I know. And the phone calls of like Liam Neeson, like kind of like taunting. But I want to give a shout out to all those guys, because the one guy I don't know, the guy that DB filled in for, so I don't really know what else he would be in. But the other guys, it seems like the guys that really spoke more. John Grease, who's Napoleon, Uncle Rico, Napoleon Dynamite. He was in Friday Night Part 2. He was in Monster Squad.
You know what? Without his mustache, I totally did it. Oh, okay, that was him.
Yeah.
How about the guy in the truck? Yeah, the guy in the truck.
Leland Orser, he's in a ton of stuff. Sam,
ton of movies.
He plays Sam. But the other guy who plays Bernie, David Warshofsky, Jersey, not a Jersey guy, but yeah, he's in he was in Barry for a few episodes. So he's been around, but the other guys are like people like from so much. You know,
I would like to see a movie on them four. Because the one scene that they're all in together was awesome. Like, this is the way they just took care of business. So, like, just to see a movie with, like, because again, they're older guys, but they were still badasses, and they took care of business, with all these cocky cops and everything. It was, and those cops are awful too. I mean, those. Just
not Donnie Wahlberg.
Oh my gosh, it's totally the worst police department outside of Police Academy.
Yeah. She went to the bathroom. She's been there for a while. What do you want me to do? I don't know. What? Stand outside the door? He was like all the way down the hallway, not really watching her.
Not at all.
He's supposed to be tailing her, and she knows that he's following her, so you should think, she's going to slip. She's going to leave. No, he just lets her go to the other side by herself.
listen, that whole again, we're not even there yet, but that whole sequence is ridiculous because
what do you mean when he pulls a gun on two girls?
Oh, okay. Well, besides that, I mean, the fact that he's telling Forrest Whitaker, where is she? Oh, she's in the science wing. You're on a college campus. You're gonna tell me he knows exactly where the science wing is on a college campus? Like, I mean, when I went to college, it still took me a while to figure out where the buildings are, what buildings are which, the different names. He got right to the point where he was. Yeah, so dumb. All right, let's get to that.
So where are we? The teddy bear. So we're right there, and then this is right before he walks in. She pregnant. She takes a pregnancy test. She's pregnant, and the first thing is obviously panda and champagne, and then the boyfriend that I think obviously he knew about, but he was so cold to him.
Okay, oof. All right. First of all, that's where the twist should have been. I thought the boyfriend was.
If it was him,
I thought he was involved. I don't know if it was him, but like he purposely was like just somehow like put to date the daughter and like get involved. So that's what I thought. And that would have been a good twist. You would know at the end.
Oh, that would have been great.
Yeah, so that's what I thought. But imagine this, like you're dating, like, and the daughter's pretty good looking. You're dating the daughter, and the father's Liam Neeson. The badass that he is. I mean, like, picture Robert De Niro in, Meet the Parents. That's Liam Neeson. Like, I would be scared. I almost like, I feel like she would be hard to date because everybody would be afraid.
Oh yeah, I'd be afraid, but you know what, dude? I think you rewrote this movie to be a great movie. If the end of this movie, which I know we're jumping all over the place, but this is what this movie's doing in my mind. But if the end of the movie was Stewart saying like, I'm gonna get away with it, all this money, and you see that guy there, and he tells a story to Liam Neeson like, I'm working for this guy, blah blah blah, and then the boyfriend says, or changes his voice, and he's like, I'm so and so, and shoots him. I'd be like, oh my god, I would make this movie like a 10.
Oh, I was thinking that he was like Stewart's son or something like that because he's okay. So like they planned it together or something that like, all right, listen, I'm gonna date the mom, you date the daughter, so we get in. And this way, like, so that's what I thought. I honestly thought, like, he was involved somehow because it was almost too obvious. Like, the son was there, like, the boyfriend, you don't see him too much, and then you see him later on, and I'm like, all right. But no, it's nothing like that.
Nothing at all. But that would have been really good. The idea that Stewart had was smart, but it just stunk that we knew we could guess right away. The fact that he was going to use a guy who's a lethal assassin to basically cover all of his tracks. He could have done it the smart way and not murder his wife. And he could have just had it set up like, oh, these guys want to kill Lenore, take him out. And then he doesn't owe them the money and then he's fine. But no, he needed to be greedy and not only knock off all the Russians, but also get $12 million.
Why do the bad guys always have to have like an accent? Like that, like it's always like if he you can have the lethal assassin. They don't have to have it like an accent, but they always have to have, like, it's almost like they sound more bad because they have a Russian accent, or
I think so.
Whatever. Yeah, always.
When I was watching it, Jamie's like, "Oh, that's why do we have to use Russians still?" I'm like, it's always Russians are the bad. Yeah.
And it honestly, I think the husband Stewart, I don't. He gave it away so much. Like there was a scene when he was fake crying, and then 2 seconds later, when he's walking outside with the cop, he's talking normal. Like it literally lasted. Like the cry lasted like 5 seconds, and then he goes, "Oh yeah, like I now I remember something." The husband, ex-husband, in this, like he literally stopped crying. It was so dumb.
Yeah. Unbelievable. And then so Kim finds out she's pregnant before her dad comes. It's really awkward because he wants to drink champagne at 9-10 in the morning. And she doesn't even, we don't really know when she tells her boyfriend because we see it in the beginning and then we know it the whole movie until she tells him in the bathroom, which is a really awkward scene. His answer is like the most wishy-washy answer ever.
There's a lot of awkwardness in that whole scene. So, we'll talk about it when we get there. So, but yeah, like it first of all, like she looks way older than a college student. I think she's like 30 or something in real life in this movie. Like
Really?
she's older. Yeah, she's not. She
always
wasn't
looked
college
young.
age.
When she was on Lost. She was probably really 16 in like 2001, 2002.
No, I would say she's probably like, I don't know. She looked a little older than that in Lost. You're gonna look it up. Yeah. But I think she was in her 30s.
Wow, she looks old now.
Well, I mean, when did this movie come out?
She's 40.
Okay, so when did this movie come out?
She was she was 31.
That's what I'm saying. So she looked she looked young, but I felt like she looked a little too old to be in college.
Wow.
Especially she started and she's getting teddy bears.
And she's getting teddy bears. I always remember her so much because not only because she was kind of a big name from Lost and the first Taken movie was when she got killed in the first episode of The Following. And they basically promoted her as the star of the series.
She's the one that murdered. She got killed. She got killed in The Following.
She was in the first episode. She was the one that he broke out of prison to kill. She was the victim that put him away.
How do you remember that?
Oh,
I mean, the show was great. Oh, the show was awesome. But
no, remember it was like one of those things. It was kind of like Drew Barrymore in Scream. On the posters, they had her face to make you think, she's going to be in this whole movie. So in that, I remember they even bill her, I think, in the first episode, it said "and" at the end. So you're like, oh my god, it's like a kind of a big name. Obviously, Kevin Bacon and the main guy was in a few things, but
that would be a good series to watch again because I remember it being very creepy.
Still good. First season's still good. Second one still like faltered a little bit, and then I stopped at the third one.
Okay.
The third one wasn't good. But first
was there closure?
Amazing.
Did it finish? Was there a closure? Like, was there a finale?
Oh, I didn't. I never finished it. maybe they had closure. I was over it. But yeah, first season, one of the best seasons.
Oh, it was
of
awesome.
Any show.
It was awesome. Yeah. All right.
All right. So yeah. So dude, the fact that then right after this, Lenore calls and she wants to hang out with her. Well, again, they have a relationship, which is the weirdest part too. We get to that in like the next scene when Stuart comes over. But the fact that they're hanging out and she wants him. She goes, she said she
fantasize. Yeah.
Dude, yes. Ever since I married him, I've been fantasizing about you. And she goes, I'm crazy, aren't I? And it's like, yeah, a little.
You know what? Give him a lot of credit, though. He stood his ground. I mean, he was respectful for it. I mean, but that must have took a lot of strength because, I mean, she looked good, and so for him to, I don't know. I don't know how you turn that down. But
she even says, Brian, why do you have to be so honorable?
So did they divorce in the second movie?
Yeah, they divorced before all the movies.
Oh, they weren't married in the first one?
No, the first movie, she's with that guy that I talked about earlier.
That's right. Okay.
He's a director, actor, and a bunch of stuff.
So he saves their daughter, he saves the wife, and she's still not back with him? And now she's fantasizing about him? Like, don't you think, like, he earned a chance to go back together with her after saving both her and the daughter? Like, that should have been a given. Okay. All right.
It should have been a give and take. Give, take. God. So it's so silly. And then how about the thing that, again, to make us think a little bit, but then Stuart ruins the whole thing. The fact that she goes, yeah, I'll be over. And, oh no, doesn't she say at first, I'm not going to come, right? I thought one of the times she comes over.
Oh, I thought you meant like during her fantasy.
Oh, hey, no, I thought it was for the first time they met. She's like, I have something I have to do. And he's like, okay, rain check. So
then that but do you think she left that scarf or whatever that was purposely? Like, like how like sometimes girls will leave something.
Oh, I was thinking Costanza.
Oh, well, he's kind of like a girl.
With the hat.
Yeah,
Costanza. But I don't know. It seemed like she did do that, but it was just so. The thing that was so bizarre was they made us think like, oh, wherever she went that night, because he tracked her car to see the GPS of everywhere she went. And obviously it tells us what we find out later, but it's almost like, why did she have to say, oh, there's something I have to do? And then it's really nothing. She did nothing to do.
She went to the gas station. She did. She had to get gas.
And then she showed up anyway.
The Stuart, let me tell you something. He's got some balls because he's kind of again, he's accusing Liam Neeson, and he's like, he does know what Liam Neeson can do. Like, he's like, and he's like, again, imagine that. Like, you're the boyfriend of, were they married or just boyfriend? Like, were they just dating?
No, they're married. They've been married 2 years.
Okay. So you're married, and the ex is pretty much a crazy CIA or whatever he is. Like, you're gonna talk any nastiness to him at all?
I know.
Like, and he accused Liam Neeson, but Liam Neeson didn't deny it.
I know. Why didn't he do that? It seems like maybe because he's so honorable. Even they're kissing for 2 seconds.
Yeah, but he says, I know you're with my wife, and he didn't say no, I'm not. He didn't deny it. Like, I wonder if they were sleeping together.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I don't blame him if he was doing it, but it was so odd, the fact that he was like, what, things have been rocking with me and Lenore, we want to work it out. We can't work it out with you around, so you can't talk to my wife or call her and or see her. And I'm like, it's kind of weird, dude. It's like, I bet you they rarely see each other. Obviously in this movie we saw them see, like, it was like 2 times within like a few days, but it's like they seem like they're really not seeing each other. Maybe because you guys aren't in a. You're
gonna make demands to Liam Neeson again. Yeah. You're gonna tell him what, and then he goes, okay. Like you're gonna believe that? Like, he's gonna, okay.
Oh,
I won't talk to her anymore. Like, he's literally, like, they are part of the same family. They have, like, they do. There is a life together with them because of the daughter. You're gonna believe him when he says, okay, I won't. Just like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I love that he snuck doing the phone, and he like sent the text, which you find out later in the movie, and then deleted it. And I love what the way Liam Neeson, the way he says it, he's like, "Stuart, you were in my house, and you took my phone and texted it, and then deleted it. You didn't think I would find out?" And it's like, well, it took you a long time to find out because you were you had this guy next to you, and he could have killed you multiple times because he was carrying a gun.
How? Okay, I mean, since you brought it up, how did they not restrain him? Like, they literally 5 minutes before that, they're torturing him, and then 5 minutes later, they have him walking around loosely with your daughter there. You don't restrain him, like, I mean, like, that was a fault. I mean, Liam Neeson didn't make too many mistakes in this movie, but that was one of them.
Yeah, and Sam was on him the whole time because he's like, "Shut up, Stuart."
He was, but he was concentrated in the computer. So, I mean, I mean, he's the computer guy, Sam. So, you have the explosive guy.
Right? Did we see him again?
I don't know, because he was like hanging out of the ambulance truck or whatever, the truck they were in. He was like, laying there. So I don't know. But again, that's another, if he did die, that's another one on Liam Neeson. So, I mean,
that's on you, Liam.
It is.
One, and then the 100 of civilian families that are destroyed.
I'm going to stand by that there are tons of people that are dead in this movie because of him, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. So, okay.
God. And then Kim again. So this is when now are they meeting face to face when they talk again? When she says, "I have a really important question." Well, they were good. Oh, the diner. They're in the diner, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So that's where I think she was going to tell him until he said that he's talking about pets and like, oh, you can't have pets because
he talked about the kids because the kids on the table behind. No, the dog. Well, that's after she mentions the dog.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, like, yes, he mentioned the kids and then mentioned the wait, so the dog wasn't mentioned at the diner either?
No, the dog was mentioned after the fact. So when the kids were jumping around and he looked at her, he goes,
she switched it to a pet.
Yeah.
Okay.
She goes, and then he says, "A new puppy."
Yeah. And then he goes, "Yeah, that's a lot of work, just like having a kid." Like, he literally like destroyed any nervousness that she had. Like, she was done. Like, she's like, all right, I'm screwed.
He ruined her dream. Even if her fake puppy, he was like, "Oh, that's a lot of work. They chew. You gotta walk him. You gotta feed him. You gotta do this."
It's funny when my wife was pregnant for the first time, because we got married young, we were going to tell my parents. And we're just talking about kids, and both my parents said, "Listen, you guys are too young right now. Save your money. Like, make sure you're ready." I go, "Mom, we're pregnant. All right, forget everything I just said. We're happy for you." Like, and it literally was like a flip, but like that really happened, and like it just reminded me of that. Like, it's just so funny. Like,
that's really funny.
Sometimes parents put their feet in the mouth, before, they hear what they're supposed to hear.
What I meant was anybody else couldn't do that.
But you can.
Guys can.
You guys are so ready.
You guys are so too ready.
I'm surprised you haven't had kids already.
Oh my God, man. So then this is when he gets that text message from her. Now, this is what I wonder. Was she taken already at this point? This is the thing that in this movie, she is taken.
Oh, hold on.
But she's only taken for a few minutes.
Okay, but so is there a time limit on how long you're taken for?
Well, it wouldn't be that exciting if it's like, yeah, I was taken. Oh, yeah, they returned me.
But for movie title purposes, is there like, all right, you know, if she's taken for 5 minutes, it's still taken. Like, so like, does that count? I mean,
if the movie, if the movie Ransom, like the ransom was only like 5 minutes of the movie, it kind of sucked.
And they paid,
and
they paid it right away. And they paid it right away.
For the last 5 minutes? Yeah, paid right away. $1 million. Okay, see ya. And then roll credits.
Okay.
But yeah, no, so she was taken. But here's my thing, because since Stewart stole the phone and did that text message, and then
but we didn't know she was taken. We didn't know she was taken.
No, we didn't know it at that point. But do you think she sent the bagel text?
No, I thought Stewart did it.
Stewart sent the bagel text from Lenore's phone, because Lenore's already dead at this point.
Correct. So he sent it there, so he has a reason to go there, because that was the whole point, is to frame him for the murder.
Yeah. Okay. I just didn't know if I was thinking, like, at first while you were watching the movie, because I thought it was Stewart, like, because I forgot that she got killed in this one. I
forgot too. Like that was a surprise.
Whole thing was.
Yeah. No, that was a surprise.
I thought when she said, "Oh, do you want to get bagels?" that somebody followed her to the house and murdered her there. So that's what I was thinking, like, oh, she really wanted bagels. Then once we hear the unraveling of what really happened, like towards the end, I was like, oh man, she was probably dead. And Stewart was like, hey, you want to have bagels?
Well, did they kill her in a van, or they killed her in the house and they brought her there?
I think Liam Neeson, because obviously Forrest Whitaker's a terrible cop and didn't have any theories about it. But okay. I think Neeson said they must have killed her and then laid the body out here.
Right. So you're going to tell me there were no fingerprints of anything else in there? Like, so they immediately accused Liam Neeson, which again, I would have thought Liam Neeson would have been a little smarter and first of all, not pick up the murder weapon that's right on the floor. Like, there's no need for him to look at it. I mean, he clearly he knew something with that. But, the people that brought the dead body there, they had to touch the doorknob. I'm sure they didn't have gloves on. They weren't like, this wasn't, I don't know. I just feel like she would have had some kind of marks on her or something. Like, they immediately got rid of any other people and just thought it was Liam Neeson.
Yeah, and another thing to think about was this is the morning. This isn't like, I don't think it's really early in the morning, but this is the morning, and he lives in an apartment building. Now, if he lived in a house that was like in the woods and it was secluded, then it's easy to like drag a body into a house.
Right.
But they did this in an apartment building. They carried a body into the house, and were able to do this when no one saw anything. There wasn't one witness after the canvassing. Same thing with the guy at the bank. Yeah, nobody.
They brought him out, so no one paid. There's no one on the streets ever.
They're really minding their own business.
I don't live on a busy street, and there's always someone walking. There's always someone walking with a dog. Always, but somehow in these movies, there's never any. Like, what movie did we watch recently where there was always a parking spot right in front of the building? Like, we just literally. I forget what it was, but we just discussed it.
Yeah.
Like in these movies, there's never anyone around. Like, I want to see a movie where it's always busy streets, and how are you going to handle the situation that you're in right now with this many people watching? Like, give us a little more of a realistic thing. No, it's just easy to carry a dead body out of a van up the stairs. Yeah.
And the nosy neighbors with the dog that stop and they look at the house.
And it can't be easy carrying a heavy dead body upstairs. No. I mean, you ever tried carrying furniture upstairs? It's not easy. So, like,
you're going to ask me if I ever tried to carry a dead body. I've not.
Oh, you haven't? Okay. Well,
I have not. But Famke Jensen, man, she's.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a shame.
She's so good. She's great in these movies too, which is the reason why it sucks. But I wonder what she got money-wise for being in 15 minutes of the movie. Like, maybe she was like, oh, fine. You know what? I really don't want to do a Taken 3. We'll kill you in minute 15. Sign me up.
Liam Neeson's like, can I die in this one too?
Yeah. And it's Kim. Kim is the new Taken.
Ridiculous.
Gosh.
So back to, again, the fact that he picks up the knife, he realizes she's dead, and then as soon as the cops get there, he like runs away. Like why? Like, I'm sure he has. Again, he's got connections that he could say, "Listen, I'm a cop," or whatever he is. Like, he could talk about, like, you know, like he immediately put it on him in seconds.
And I think you said it best before about the Fugitive parallels.
Oh,
the Fugitive, he was a rando doctor that, like he obviously could have gotten framed easy because he was a nobody. But you said it best. He's Brian Mills that has all these connections with so many people. I'm sure he could probably call somebody that can call the president.
Easily.
The fact that he was so scared of the where I guess they're in LA, right? The LA justice system, that in seconds he's like, I'm gonna kick the shit out of these two cops and jump out the window and land on a dumpster. And that dumpster landing, oh my god, my back my back hurts if I lay on the ground for 5 minutes.
So, do you think he knew there was a dumpster there, or he just jumped out the window? Because, like, why would he know a dumpster's there? Because this is like the back window. So he literally like jumped and just hoped a dumpster would be there.
Oh my god. I don't know. So, and I feel bad for the stunt guy that they said, like, all right, here's the stunt. Like, what do you want to do? Jump out the window and like do like roll or something? No, we're gonna have you land your back on a dumpster.
Okay, and you know what? I might believe it if the cover wasn't on and he landed on the garbage bags. You know, like the cushion.
Give me that.
Okay, give me that.
Cliche.
Right.
Yeah.
He landed on the cover of the dumpster. So like the metal part of the dumpster, he literally on his back. Like it was a full. And if you're gonna jump out the window, why are you jumping out that way? Like, wouldn't you try to? Like, he had enough time that he could almost like hang from the window and like shimmy down and then drop and like hopefully like no, he like dives out the window.
And you know what? That furthers the difficulty of sneaking a body in. He was on like the second or third. He was definitely the second floor.
Oh,
maybe
I think he's the third floor. I think because it seemed like it was a nice jump. So I would say the third floor.
So they went up 3 floors with a dead body. Like, give me that footage. Like, if they got that later in the movie, let's have them like delivering a couch and it's in a box and they do it. And
you know they weren't quiet. You know they were yelling at each other and rushing as they're like carrying the dead body up there. Like, one's like, all right, come on, lift higher or whatever they're saying. You know, like it wasn't a quiet thing. Not one neighbor. There's always nosy neighbors in those kind of apartments. Always. There's always an old lady that's peeking out, hearing something and no dogs barking, nothing.
None. But he's climbing every fence. He's outrunning everyone. And I do. You know what's crazy? Again, you said it perfect. Fugitive. Where's the parallel? Even though he didn't go jump off like a dam, but the fact that when he goes in that garage.
Okay. First of all, the other parallel also is Forrest Whitaker was totally Tommy Lee Jones. The way he kept saying, "Listen, he's our priority. This is the only thing we're doing." Like from this point on, it's the Fugitive, without a doubt. Yeah. So that garage, is that a garage that he knew about? Or just a random not even the garage.
Just a random garage.
Wait, he runs into a house first that happens to have the front door unlocked. Okay, so he runs in the house, front door unlocked, just runs right through. He knew that door was going to be unlocked because I think he'd be in trouble if the door is locked, and now what is he going to do? So the door was unlocked. He ran through there, goes to this garage. Can I ask you first of all, the fact that he knew there was a trap door there, which
I know.
Okay. And why is there a trap door into the sewer?
Oh, what it is it was like the way they used to illegally dump oil when they did oil changes properly or something. Because why else would a car be over it? And there was like only like 5 pieces of wood that were separating someone who stepped on that the wrong way from
would go through 100%. And it was pretty high up. So how high is the house built over this? running like sewer, like, and it wasn't like it was like it was running water, like it was a rough.
Oh, dude,
it wasn't
flowing.
It wasn't like
river.
Yeah. So I just like there's no explanation for that. Like, what is that? What house would have that? Like, it makes no sense. That thing.
When I saw that, the fact that he went under the car was like, and then he moved one and then moved the other one. I'm like, are you kidding me? And that's how he gets away.
See, I would believe it if that was his house. He purposely had that there for an escape plan or something.
Yeah.
But this was a random house that had that he knew to go down to. He knew it was there, like somehow. Like, it's just ridiculous. And again, the rushing water was going so fast. Like,
it wasn't Russian water. We were in LA. This isn't Russia.
Oh my gosh.
Are you saying the Russian River in California, maybe?
Oh my.
Oh, you mean rushing water as in like fast water?
Oh my gosh. Are you being serious right now?
I thought you meant Russian as in Klutschklach.
You know, I gotta be honest with you. You haven't done accents in a while, and so far we've heard a Russian and Liam Neeson. You're on a roll today.
Liam Neeson was pretty good, yeah.
That was pretty good. So, but yeah, I mean that the thing that he jumped into was just ridiculous. Like, there's not one house that would have any kind of contraption like that at all. First of all, I would think that it would not pass an inspection. Like, it's such a dangerous thing to have. Like, there was no way that would pass inspection.
Especially that it's a place that cars are stored and worked on. They'd be like, "Hey guys, are you dumping your oil into the? Maybe that's why all the ducts are."
What if whoever pulls the car in, that they didn't go in, right over it, and their wheel went over that? Like, your car's gonna go. It's gonna easily break that wood. Like you said it best. That wood looks so flimsy. Like, it was not like it's like it wasn't like a sturdy cement trap door. It was like not even plywood. It looked like that fence wood that was pieced together.
Okay, you're ready for this one, and this might blow your mind. So when I just thought of this, when Forrest Whitaker shows up there and he goes, "Move the truck, move the truck." All right, what do we see? What do we see there?
What do you mean?
All the pieces of wood back. All the pieces of wood are perfectly back. There's no way that 65-year-old Liam Neeson hung with one hand and put them all back purposely. Come on.
Well, maybe the homeowners said, "Oh, who left this open?" And came back out and why
damn
did Forrest
Timmy from down the road?
Why did Forrest Whitaker say move the car?
I don't know. It's not like he heard it. It's not like he was sitting there. He's like, "Shh, shh."
No.
Like, I would love that scene. Shh, shh. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
I hear something. Where's it coming from?
Right.
Move the truck.
Right.
No, he just goes, "Move the truck."
How'd they move it, by the way?
Oh, you can pop a car in neutral easy.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's like a button on my Honda. There's a little button that you have to open something. It's pretty amazing that they have a little thing. You just need a screwdriver. You hit a little tiny button, and you can move the car wherever you want.
Yeah, but they didn't have a screwdriver on them. I mean, they literally just moved the car. I mean, so, but what did he think? Maybe he's hiding under there? Like, wouldn't you just look under there? Like, I mean, he literally moved it and then saw the trapdoor right away. Like, that made no sense to move the car. It was just like,
Is this when he utters the line, "I knew this guy was good, but..." No, I don't know. Did he say that yet? I don't think he knew who he was yet.
Well, he did. I did write down one line. He says, let me see. We're not there yet? Okay, we're not there yet. But I did write down.
He does say a one-liner after this. I don't know if he says this guy's a damn pro or he says something like that. I'm like, is he really a pro? He just found a hole.
Well, again, I think that's pretty much of a pro. If you're running trying to escape something and you just happen to come across an escape hatch, that's a pro. Because I mean, most people like climbing trees or hiding behind a bush. This guy's finding trapdoors. It's ridiculous. But what the line I wrote down was, these guys could lose a tail if it was attached to a dog.
Oh yeah. That was when they said. That's when it was after the funeral. That was when because they're like, "Oh, should we tell him?" Yeah.
But aren't all tails attached to a dog? So what does that mean? So so they can lose that, but if it's not attached to the dog, then they'll be able to tell him.
Yeah.
It's just so stupid. What a dumb line.
Yeah. Now they like. I'm not saying that he's not a great actor. There are some things he's good in, but when he plays a cop, I just don't think he's ever good in those roles. But I love that the first time we saw this, because I wrote Forrest Whitaker's in this, and then it goes, he's eating bagels for freshness. That's right away. That's what I thought. And I'm like, there's no way you could use that in court. Like, it's like, oh, why didn't this guy murder his wife? Your Honor, the bagels were warm. They were fresh. So, and there was 2 of them, one for him and one for her. It's like, what if he was a psycho and just wanted to eat 2 after he murdered his wife? Like,
but it's someone's house. Like, you're just randomly taking their food and eating it. Like, and I think he eats something in the next scene also. Like, maybe at the office, like they see him eating again. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like I said,
lots
the other
of
guy
Cobra.
was eating.
It's like Cobra. They're always eating in this movie. Yeah. Every scene. And then how about the fact that these guys kind of remind me of FX2, like having like that escape house. In this, Brian calls Sam and he goes, "Oh, I'm in trouble," and he asks for a code. And then he finds a safety bunker that is in like an abandoned warehouse or like power plant. And
well, he doesn't find it. I mean, he knew about it because his guns were there.
No, I know he knew about it. No, but what I'm saying is the fact that there's actually something like that. Like, you're telling me that there's something like that, like anywhere in the world, like inside some old warehouse?
Think about, again, if there's like a real Liam Neeson, John Wick, same thing. Like, he had this, like, hidden thing. Like, these guys that are badasses, they're always on guard. They're gonna, I mean, I believe that based on the character he plays, in the first 2 movies, I believe he would have to me, that's not far fetched. Like, for him to have a safe area where he knows that he can, keep someone safe or hide his guns, which he does. Listen, the contraptions that he has, who's making that? Like that GPS thing, like he's able to download everything anywhere.
Yeah,
with that thing, he's not officially, on the job anymore. He's got his own security. So who's making these very cool Q-like, because that's what Q does for James Bond.
Yeah,
So like, what is like? Yeah, it doesn't make like the fact that he's able to still have this kind of stuff, like all this equipment. Who's making it? Sam?
Yeah, Sam, probably Sam. But what's funny about these movies? And there's so many movies that they don't want to other line of like, this is what this object's doing. This is a GPS, downloader or something. But in this, it says the text on the thing that when he has it plugged in, it said like, GPS download in progress, like, in the biggest letters that seemed like they couldn't even fit on the thing. And then how about the next scene? This guy's a ninja. He slips into the morgue.
Oh my gosh!
To see his dead
How does that happen? Like, again, these movies, there's never security. There's never security, and you can walk around any hospital, any room, any like police station without any like somehow sneak. And he's a big guy. He's like 6'4", 6'5", and he's able to slip into everywhere. And like, I mean, I don't know. I've never been into a morgue, but they don't lock those things. Like, you could easily just
lock them,
open
and there's no cameras. Like, there's no cameras.
Yeah.
Like, I you know what? Because morgue workers, like as we've seen in so many movies, they're creeps, and they probably take all the watches and they touch the dead bodies and do funny things with them. But
you think they're wearing watches when they're in a morgue?
The dead bodies, they probably take everything off them.
Yeah, not in the morgue. They're done. There's nothing on them. I don't think they're laying in there and they're opening up each one, like, seeing, all right, let's see what this guy has. And
are they naked already when they're in the morgue? Isn't like they bring the body to the morgue and then they take their stuff off? Like, that's where you go after you're dead.
Yeah, I think the morgue is like the last place. I'm sure there's a spot where they strip them, take their jewelry, and then give them to the creep. First of all, who would want that job to be around dead people all day long? Like, your friends are just dead. Like, your coworkers are all dead people. Like, you're alone. I can't imagine you need more than I don't think you need more than one morgue person, right? I mean, like really, like, there's only one problem. So imagine like you're spending your hours just by yourself and dead people.
And that smell.
The smell,
like formaldehyde, like old people smell. That's probably what.
That's why in these movies they're always like. That's why it's amazing. First of all, when they're eating sandwiches, like I forget what movie that was. He's eating it's just
Fletch Lives when he's eating a sandwich, and he had the watch on of a dead person. that we saw earlier in the movie.
Yeah. I think it takes a special kind of person to be able to work in a morgue.
Special, yes. Yeah. And then Liam Neeson, again, he's stuck into the morgue, and then he does the craziest thing. He somehow puts himself into the trunk of his own car, and then the cops bring his car and Lenore's car and park them next to each other. Is that really what happened in this movie?
It is what happened, and how did he know that was going to happen? And
yes,
and is there a way to get out of your trunk if you're locked in there?
They have the safety. You know, they puts a safety device in the, I don't know what year it was, but there's a little thing you could pull.
Is there a reason why they have?
It single-handedly took down the mafia. The mafia, they got to this point, they were throwing people in the trunk. They're like, this is easy. And then once Ford was anti-mafia, I guess they put it's like a little plastic letter T.
So I want to know the reason why they didn't put safety in there, because were there a lot of people getting stuck in trunks?
Maybe.
I mean, like, you know, like I honestly have never been inside of a trunk. I don't think, unless I was doing something stupid as a kid.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's what I did. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, but I mean, in reality, though, like, I want to know, was there like a big were there a lot of cases of people stuck in trunks that they couldn't get out? I mean,
the one tuna fish can, I gotta grab it from the, and then they fall in, and the trunks. Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna go in, like, if you did it, you always have like a friend on the outside, like, you know, like you're probably just joking around, you know. But like, if you're alone and getting stuck in a trunk, then you should be driving.
Oh yeah, you should take away the license. Yeah, if you get caught in your own trunk, you should have to like turn your license like that day.
Okay, all right. But yeah,
you're right. But how does he know that's going to happen? Is that like protocol that they've parked them next to each other? And why, before they're driving it, they don't check the trunk at that time?
They don't check the trunk. They don't check Liam Neeson when they arrest him. Like, you arrest someone and you know this guy is a badass. You don't check him and see if he has any weapons on him. Like, you know, like, so, you know, I'm not surprised they didn't check the trunk. Which is ridiculous, because they would check the entire car. First of all, when they check the car before he even gets there?
That's what I mean. I would think that's the first thing they do. Because what if they start driving it and there's some evidence in there that gets spilt or breaks? Or there could be something.
What if the car gets in an accident and now you have no evidence and now the case is closed? Right. You know, I mean, anything can happen on the way, right? Like you said, you know, a car can go on fire, whatever. So why wouldn't they like bring a team there, and it's just like you're bringing a team to the house to inspect the murder scene,
Yeah, which CSI. We're CSI car detailing.
Which we skipped the part when Kim. It was Kim, his daughter, right?
Yeah.
So when they're going through the mom's bedroom, and the daughter goes, "Can you please leave? I know what you're looking for. Can you let me go in there alone?" And they're like, "Okay." What? The fact that she says, "I know what you're looking for," wouldn't that be like a red flag? Like, she's hiding something? Like, I mean, seriously, like, they're not gonna just allow someone. It's a murder case. Like, the worst cops.
Yeah, and then when she talks, she has a heart to heart with Forrest Whitaker and says, like, "Can you just have them not go through all my mom's stuff?" And he's like, "I can do that for you." It's like, why would he say okay to that? There could be very important evidence, which is linking someone to this murder. But he's like, you know what? Fine.
She could be hiding things or whatever. Like, it was so ridiculous that they gave her that leeway.
Yeah. So and this is where he used his device that it said GPS downloaded. And he popped out of the trunk really quick while they were walking there. And he was able to.
You don't hear that? Yeah. Wait, you don't hear the trunk?
Oh,
opening?
I know. Oh, it's so loud. You ever been in a parking garage at night?
Of course.
I shit my pants because you hear one little sound and you're like, somebody's behind me.
100%. So, he does a lot of quiet stuff because he's able to sneak on the guy in his house later on. So, you know, I guess he's like like you said, he's a ninja. He's able to get out, and he got out. And does he shut the trunk, or does he leave it open? He shut it, right? Because they didn't know.
I'm sure he shut it, yeah.
Okay. You don't hear you could shut a trunk quietly? Like, not making any noise?
I don't know. I guess.
I don't know. And This is a parking lot. There wasn't one other person there again. There was just those two people walking there.
Yeah.
That's
a police parking lot. I'm sure there's cops that come in and out, like
100%.
with bad guys or changing shifts. No, nobody there at all.
And you don't have security cameras? It's a police station.
They can't afford it anywhere to have security cameras. Even in the next scene when he finds out pretty quickly, oh, this is where she was last. Let me check this place out, the gas station. And then then he's watching the footage, and the guy's letting him watch it. And I did kind of like that part because that was pretty cool when they showed up and the girl was pissed off, the waitress at the first place he went to, when he said to that Donnie Wahlberg guy, she's like, you guys really need to get it together. You guys just had a cop here. He's over there now. And then that's when they peep in on him.
Yeah, but why did the gas station guy let him? I mean, he just said, "Oh yeah, I." Because did he show him a badge or anything?
Oh yeah, he showed him a fake badge. Yeah.
Oh okay.
He says, "I'm Detective." I think he used the name Mike Carl, another name that would not be Liam Neeson's name. You know.
Of course. All right. Yeah. And it's I like how they made us look like he's going to get caught any second. Like he was taking his time getting this information.
Oh, like, but then he ultimately does get caught. And you're like, are you serious?
Yeah, but he planned that, but okay, all right,
just to get that evidence. And I like how hand tattoo.
So when they do get him, those two cops were so cocky, like they're like, oh, he's supposed to be a badass. Why weren't they the ones that drove him? Like, why would they throw? Like, if these are your two lead detectives that you're putting on this murder case, you're gonna throw them into just a random cop's car?
Yeah. And I wrote down, I guess he only kicks the shit out of patrolmen because he doesn't fight the detectives. He purposely gets arrested just to break out a second later. He could have just made quick work at Donnie Wahlberg and the other guy and then been on his merry way. No, let me do this whole thing of now I'm going to kick the shit out of these guys and
possibly die because you're on a you're going down the highway with the guy has a gun to his head and he's like swerving and like causing accidents. Like why? Like you're right. Why didn't he just like what was the purpose of getting arrested? A purpose?
Yeah, there was no point to it. And then he had the unless it would have made sense if he got arrested, went to the police station, then got out of his cuffs. And then looked on the computer and got information or something. There was no point. And the fact that he was ready with a pick.
Yeah. So, and doesn't that make him look even more guilty? Because now you're scared. So, it just doesn't. But then I think doesn't Forrest Whitaker later on say something like he got himself arrested on purpose? Like he didn't believe it. Like when they said that he got him too easy, he's like, no, stop him or something like that.
Yeah,
like
that's what he said. That's when those guys are being cocky. He's like, oh, this guy's supposed to be so good. And then he goes, he's playing you. And then at the same time he said that, which I thought was pretty cool. He starts picking the lock. But you ever see the Artie Lang movie Beer League?
A long time ago. Okay,
so there's a guy in that movie that is in a bunch of stuff. Background guy for the most part in Beer League. He's the guy that when he's I don't know if he's at somebody's wedding. Oh yeah, he's at Ralph Macchio's wedding in the movie, and he does his whole speech. And you think he's talking about like the love between Ralph Macchio and his new wife in the movie, and he's talking about his batting average in slow pitch softball. He's the guy that in this movie is calling Forrest Whitaker like every time. He's like, I just found out, boss. There's two $12 million insurance policies that were taken out. He's that guy throughout the whole movie that keeps calling him. But yeah, if anybody hasn't seen Beer League in a long time or never saw it, set in New Jersey, funny movie. Jerry Minor, our first ever interviewee, talked about his summer in Jersey on that movie, which I thought it's a fun flick. But I thought it was pretty funny that he was the guy relaying the information. But I wrote this down. I go, it's so funny. Brian's only hurting guys. No one's dying. And then the next note, well, the car that flipped over with people who just got crushed under the shipping container might have an argument.
This is the start of like a murder spree. I mean, it literally from this point on, there's so many deaths. And you're right. Like up until this point, he's purposely trying to save every police officer because and even Forrest Whitaker made a point to that. He's like, and he didn't kill you guys, so he's putting it together that clearly he's not a bad guy. Yeah. So like you know, like that's how bad Forrest Whitaker is. You could tell he knows that Liam Neeson is not guilty, but he's still like pushing him. You know, like he should have backed off a long time ago and realized, all right, this guy clearly knows what he's doing. You know, his daughter, you know, is telling him, and he's just still like pursuing him, wasting everybody's time, and not solving anything.
No, he's not doing anything. You know, there were some cool things they did for this movie, which they took lines from the other movies and like reversed them. So in the first movie, when Liam Neeson utters like the coolest scene in a movie, when I have a particular set of skills and
amazing,
which is the best. But what the bad guy says, good luck. Like that's his line, and that's what he says to Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah,
the same line. Like the role reversal.
But that whole line is got to be like one of the best in like top 10. Like it's just such a like it's just awesome. When you saw that trailer and he says that, how awesome!
Yeah, because he does this whole thing about you don't know me.
Yeah.
And I don't know you, but I have a particular set of skills. Yeah. It's like whoa.
And in that acts, like in his voice, like it's just awesome. Yeah.
The best movie. I think that Taken movie is like
it's awesome.
One of the best action movies ever.
Yeah.
So good. And so this is where it gets even crazier. How about when he kind of goes to the funeral, like, but his buddies are there and he's on a camera?
Yeah.
Insane. Hi, Dad. Hi. Like in the middle of like, my mom just died. Hi, Dad. She's like,
well, you know, I mean, I do like the fact that the daughter, like, it knows her father, right? So knows everything he's gonna do. So like any kind of like out of the ordinary stuff, she already knows. You know, she's already 2 steps ahead of Forrest Whitaker. Also, like knows the plan, and everything else. So yeah, I mean, I do like their relationship. But again, she's a college student, and he does treat her like she's in middle school.
No, yeah.
You know, or you know, but it's not even just him. Like I feel like she treats it like she acts like she's in middle school sometimes. You know, just the way her
she doesn't act like she's a college student that's pregnant. I mean, she's super young, but she plays it. She's 30 something, but she's playing super young. But no, you're right. It's like she's doing such ridiculous things at times.
I know,
and almost is like wanting to be in harm's way. But like we talked, you said it earlier. Like a great movie would have been Brian and his buddies, because when Brian gives his buddies the footage and they see it, when they kind of start getting involved, that's awesome.
Well, again, because they're older, you know, and just when you see these, like when you always see like these older guys that are like just so like skilled in their craft, and they can still be badasses. That's why like, a lot of these like, you know, gangster movies with De Niro and Pesci, even though they're older, they still hold their own. You know, like to me, Chaz Palminteri in Bronx Tale. You know, he's got that older, but he's still like a badass, and like I like that. So like, a movie with those 4 guys would have been great.
Yeah, like VFW with Sadler and
great movie.
Stephen Lang.
I mean, such a great movie. Absolutely, absolutely.
So many, like every guy. Yeah, dude.
That you know what? That movie was like bad guy version of like Expendables. You know, like it was like all the villains from like other movies. You know, all together and play. That was such a good movie.
And
I like that
Williamson.
one. Who's the one guy with the gray hair? He's in so many movies. What's his name? He's in that movie where he's blind. The kids go to his house.
Oh yeah, Stephen Lang.
Oh, he's awesome. He's like one of my favorites. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's really good in that movie. But that's cool when you get that in those movies, like the aging guys. And
easily.
They're putting it together, and those are good. It's so funny. My 2 favorite genres that whenever we talk about action movies are when the people like in FX2 aren't guys that know guns or anything.
Regular
guys thrown
in
that situation. Yeah, regular guys and old guys that used to be action like that used to know what they were doing. Those are my 2 genres that I would have at like Blockbuster Video.
You know what? I got a movie for you. Ever seen the movie Tough Guys? Years ago, it was Kirk Douglas and Burt Lancaster. And Dana Carvey plays like he's in there too. But Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas, they just got out of prison. and they were tough guys back in the day. So they were like in prison for 30 years. So they still think it's like 1950, but it's like now 1985. And so like they come, so they act like Kirk Douglas still like going after girls, and like it's actually a funny movie. It's called Tough Guys.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah,
I'll look it up.
All right.
So again, at this point, obviously we mentioned a million times that Stewart is obviously the bad guy. But I wrote Stewart is the worst. If he's not the bad guy, I'd be shocked. Which at this point, even at the funeral, he was like kind of like cold and awkward. And the thing that was even crazier was her mom just got murdered. And I know when people like when they're grieving, they do different things. Some people want to be by themselves. Some people want to go, but she like wants to go to school. And she has a really cool car.
Okay, wait a second. What do you think the time frame is between the funeral and school? No, I'm talking about.
It must be only a few days.
No, I feel like it wasn't even. Like there's no way she'd be able to go to school like right away. Like that, it had to be like within a day or two. You know, like
well, they had the full day of searching the house.
Okay, that's
like
1 day.
So maybe like a few days. I'm just thinking normal when people pass away. It's maybe like the earliest is like 4 days out they have a funeral or something. But it was like no matter what it was just kind of ridiculous that she had to do that. But then I wrote down, I'm like, let me guess, because I always thought that I don't know, I don't remember this movie at all. But I was thinking like, wow, I wonder if this movie did phenomenal and they did like a hey, you know what? Obviously she's pregnant in this movie, so they couldn't do it. But if it was like, wait, she's gonna be the next CIA operative, because I was like, watch, is she gonna lose a tail right now? That's what I thought was gonna happen. She was gonna get in her car, a retro car, and somehow lose the guy. But obviously that didn't happen. She knew the guy was following her, and then she gave him the business for a second.
How obvious was the tail? I mean, again, how bad are these cops? You know, they were just, it was so obvious. It's just ridiculous, you know, and not for nothing. That cop was like, he acted so creepy, like the whole time. Like, there's no way he should be a cop, you know, and
not Donnie Wahlberg. He looked like Donnie Wahlberg on Blue Bloods or whatever show
he just but he looked like he does drugs. Like he just looked creepy. and that's the guy you're going to have watching the young girl. Like, I don't know. He was the worst.
And how about the fact that when he goes, Sam at the funeral goes, your dad wants me to tell you to keep up your regular schedule, right? Regular schedule.
Well, because she's predictable. And remember, so he was talking about even the boyfriend was chiming in how predictable. Yeah. Which I thought Liam Neeson was going to get mad at that point because I feel like the boyfriend was like making fun of her. And so like, you know, but yeah, no. So, but see now, I feel like she screwed that part up big time. So,
you mean grabbing the fourth one back, and he goes, "I would grab the same." In the beginning of the movie, when he,
no. I mean that's obviously part of the predictable, so he knew that. But the fact that you would think like she would act normal, why would she leave evidence of her father writing a note?
Yes.
Like, take it with you.
Keep the note. Yes. Why would you throw that note in the garbage?
Why would you throw it away? And why would if you're trying to be predictable, drinking it super fast and throwing it away is not what you normally do, right? You know, and clearly the guy at the store knew that's not something she normally does because he said it right away.
She comes in,
she drank it so fast.
Yeah.
So that was not the same. Like, so she screwed that up, you know. But I mean, why would you throw it away? And Forrest Whitaker knew to look in the garbage because there's going to be something right there. Like, stupid.
Do you remember what the note said? Did we see that?
It said "drink this." I think I thought it said something like "drink this."
Oh yeah. Remember why? Because he basically poisoned his daughter.
Which is. So does that do harm to a kid? She's pregnant. I mean, like it's.
What if it was something that would hurt the baby?
I know.
Because he didn't know.
I mean, okay. Can I ask you, like, so instead of poisoning her, why didn't you just say, "Meet me in the school bathroom"?
Yeah. Fake like you have a stomach bug.
Yeah. Right. I mean, you clearly were able to write a note on there. So how about like just say, no, I'm going to poison her and then give her an antidote later on. Like, what if she got sick and like in the classroom, started throwing up in the classroom, embarrassing his daughter? Like, you know, I mean, why would you do it like easily? the same thing could have said, like, meet me in the bathroom, leave class early, meet me in the bathroom. Very simple.
And throw this out. It's like Inspector Gadget. It'll explode. Because the fact that she didn't grab that is really,
I know.
Maybe because she has like prego brain, she's pregnant and her brain's not thinking the right way.
In her defense, she's just got poisoned.
She did get poisoned. Could you imagine if you put too much in and she passed out right there?
Yeah. So how would he know how much to put in there to like, I mean, like.
And he had like a sort of antidote for her to drink.
He did. So that seemed like an extreme thing. So if he already had that, what would he use that for? I mean, like he clearly there's something he's used before.
Drinking his buddies. Remember all the CIA guys are drinking and they try to mess with each other by poisoning each other.
So it's like automatic diarrhea. So that's
automatic diarrhea. So he gave his daughter diarrhea instead of just writing like, "Hey, meet me in the bathroom."
Meet me in the bathroom. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, what if she had an accident in the classroom? Like that, it doesn't make sense. And so so then he clearly, she gets sick and was the cop waiting outside the classroom while she was in class? Was that what he was doing?
Yeah, he was waiting outside and somehow she slipped because I don't know how she could have slipped him because at this point, it's not like she's thinking she's getting away from She just is going to the bathroom. He's not staying near her, which is crazy.
But he knew that she was going to the bathroom because that's where he was waiting outside the bathroom. But so he followed her, and she's sitting in the classroom. Was he in his car while she's in the classroom, or he was just standing in the hallway?
No, he was standing in the hallway. But when she went to the bathroom, he didn't stay with her.
No,
I know. He was on the phone with Forrest Whitaker. And like you said earlier, she's in the science hall. I think she's in the bathroom. Then he had to run over to it, and it's why are you running?
Oh, how about the fact that you got this creepy looking cop just standing in a hallway of a college?
I know.
No one notices this man who's clearly does not go to school and he's just hanging around. Like that seems.
I get older, they stay the same age. That's what he looked like.
No,
he was.
No teachers were in the hallway. No one was walking around. Okay. All right. So Liam Neeson's in the bathroom with her. So how did he just walked in after she walked in? How did the cop not see that?
Well, he wasn't right there. Remember, he wasn't right outside the bathroom. He basically let her go into another wing. He wasn't right there. But how about the fact that when he finds out that she's pregnant after he goes, I poisoned you, here's the antidote to make you feel better. But wouldn't he be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You just poisoned my pregnant daughter.
I know.
Why did you tell me?
He didn't think about that at all. I got a question for you. Does he know her school schedule? How do you know what bathroom she's going to?
I hope he. Man, I don't know.
I mean, so his plan was to get her sick, so she would leave class to go to the bathroom. How does he know what class she has, what building she's in, where's the bathroom? He happened to know exactly where to go.
Well, he was probably doing a good peeping job because he's a ninja. He was probably in the class with her with a wig on to follow her out.
Who's the new kid in the back? You got this 6'5" Irish accent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's an exchange student.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my God.
Okay. How about the fact that so after he escapes, narrowly escapes, and the cops come in, why is there underwear around her ankles? Like she was literally pretending to be in the really go to the bathroom. She could have easily just been sitting there and just pretending like she's throwing up or something like that. Isn't that kind of awkward also? Knowing they're gonna barge in, and while she's sitting there, I think they wouldn't even know if her underwear was down because they would barge in and move right away. She acted like she was really going to the bathroom. Unless
I think maybe she really wanted to, or maybe it still worked.
Maybe the poison.
She had the Hershey squirts or something.
That would have been funny. As soon as they barge in, you heard.
But so when the pregnancy the line that he says, and he says it really awkwardly, he goes, well, we will figure out what's best after we get through this. It's And she goes, okay. And then she goes, Stewart's been acting really odd. And then I'm like, oh,
and that was, yeah. I mean, like how much? I know, ridiculous.
Right there, I knew that it was him. But the fact that those other two girls came in and they were like, oh yeah, were you hanging out with Bobby last night? And they're like having this conversation, doing makeup in the mirror, and the cops come in, see them. Like cops hold the gun most of the time that you see them, like because the guys that they barge in the door, they see the girls and still point at the
I know,
guns
and they still have
them.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous.
Or like creepy Donnie Wahlberg was, hey, what's up, ladies? Here's my card.
and you know, obviously the chase in the college, in the hallways, he throws some kind of bomb, or what did he throw? Grenade into the janitor's closet?
Oh yeah, he threw a stun grenade.
That's not dangerous. Like when you got all these kids around. Like,
what if somebody was in there?
There
could have been somebody, the janitor
in the closet.
Yeah, the janitor closet. They got any cleaning supplies.
Why would he? Okay, why would he be inside the closet?
To get the stuff. It's probably a janitorial closet.
The door was shut. You think he was just hanging around the closet? You think janitors just hang around janitor closets?
They're probably like, damn, these kids. They can't get in the toilet. I'm changing, scrubbing the floors. I hate this job. And
okay,
you know what? I'm going to go up to Mr. Johnson and I'm going to quit. And then you see, boop, 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 boop. And that's
I mean, yeah, I'm sure someone could have gotten hurt easily with that thing. What if he missed the closet? Like he's running and like he threw it, but like on the run. But what if he missed it and hit the door and like it went off in the hallway? Like, you know, it's
just murders. I mean,
like there's a lot of things that could have happened. You know? So okay, all right.
But it was crazy because he's running around this school and the only other really tall people, even though they're college kids, it was like this hulking Liam Neeson that couldn't like duck. Even when he ducked, he was taller than all the other kids around.
And again, it's easy to leave a college. Like, how does he know where to go? Like, you're running down hallways. You know, it's not easy to find out where you're going. And somehow he knew the whole landscape of, you know, the college dorm.
He has it all. Maybe he downloaded all of it. So he studied the plans to escape.
He probably did.
But he decked that security guard, man. That security guard knocked him out. God. Then set off all the fire alarms with that stun grenade. Wild.
Yeah.
And then Stewart this guy's so rich. Again, we don't know what he does. We never even got an inkling in that he sold like arms deals. Like there was an art dealer. We didn't find anything out about what he actually. It's just that they said, oh, it must be because of the business that he does. That's why mom probably got killed. But he goes to the Malibu house and he has a ton of money. Dude, the way Liam Neeson is able to get in there so quick is great.
And quietly. I mean, you would think a house like that would have security, like cameras and all that stuff. But no, again, you live in a house like that. You're leaving the front door like wide open like that, like anyone can come in.
Yeah.
Like we saw this in FX2. Like no one locks doors. I lock my door the second I'm in the house all the time.
Yeah. No, I know. I always got to do that.
Yes.
There's no there's no time even during the day. Every door, 100%. It's got to be locked.
100%. But these people that live in these huge mansions never lock the door.
Yeah. And before we even get to the house, how about when he's driving and he gets rammed off the road by a giant SUV and they even blow it up with a grenade.
Okay. The fact that it flips 10 times, the car, there's no way. Well, again, I mean, you know, it's funny. I think they purposely went back to that scene because they knew people are going to say, all right, how did he survive this? Because they show a little clip. Like they didn't do it for anything, but they showed a clip which they really didn't explain how he escaped because all they show him is like climbing like they didn't show how he got out of the car, did they? Like
they didn't show him. They just showed him how he wasn't in it when it flipped. They just showed him.
So they showed you a clip of him, I guess, climbing up the edge of the hill, but they still didn't show you how he got out because they said, "How did you survive that?" But they didn't explain it. They really didn't explain it. Like how many time?
Well, I opened the door just.
Yeah, but they didn't even show. They didn't even show him getting out of the car. He was already out of the car. So he's already out of the car. But that's the explanation of how he got out of the car because he was already out of the car. Yeah. Okay. All right.
And the fact that this guy is the most lethal man in the world, because I'm sure these Russian guys have to have heard about him, that he's taken out other countries' like biggest gangs in 2 movies.
You know he's been in Russia before. So I mean, so
the fact that they don't double check he's dead. Like this isn't like a Joe Schmo guy that they ran off the road. This is like a guy that's like a lethal assassin. No, let's leave.
Yeah.
Let's celebrate. Nothing.
Well, again, these bad guys do it all the time. They always walk away without knowing for sure that someone's dead. You know. Listen, they do it in horror movies all the time too. So
never. Yeah, they never check it, and then that's why they always come back 2 or 3 times at the end. Yeah. Did I think I've asked you this before? Did you ever watch the Larry Sanders Show?
No.
So the man who gets carjacked is one of the actors from the show, a regular actor, and he's a writer. He was the writer on Larry Sanders in the show, but I think he also did writing on other shows in real life too. But yeah, he's the guy that he pulls the gun on in the Bronco and says, "Let me drive." and then the fight at the liquor stores. Wow.
You know what?
Holy
that
shit.
was almost almost comical though, because
silly. It was silly.
Okay, because you have these guys, these thugs that just basically murdered this guy, and then he's like hitting on the girl at the store like 2 seconds later, like not even breaking a sweat of what just happened, and like not even paying attention to what's going on, and it was just like it was enjoyable, but it was almost like Cobra when Cobra went to the supermarket, like like using different
shop here.
Go ahead, I don't shop here.
Yeah, so stupid. No, but it was like that. Even when he was fighting the guys are like 4 guys near each other with guns, and Liam Neeson's able to like punch a guy, knee him in the stomach, throw his head through the glass, and then the next guy walks up and fights, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Okay. First of all, it's not. I don't even know if it's a supermarket. It's like a mini mart. It's like a small little.
That's what it was. Oh no,
like
it was a liquor store. Yeah,
Okay, right. So you're gonna tell me like no one else is gonna come around while he's fighting one guy at a time? I mean, again, it just does, and they all have these guns. I mean, if they're smart, they attack from different angles, and you maybe have a chance. No, they wait. They hear this commotion. They're not that far away, but it seems like it takes forever for them to get to where Liam Neeson was.
Yeah, and at this point, I don't know what minute mark we're on. I don't have a ton of notes left, so maybe this is like an hour 20. This is like the first time he actually like murdered someone purposely. Like all the other ones were like accidental casualties. This he was like, all right, I'm gonna start killing guys, because he starts killing guys from here on out.
Well, these are the Russians. So if you're Russian, then he's gonna go. The other people were cops. Right, so he's not going to kill the innocent cops, but these guys, not for nothing, they just ram him off the road, and he should have died. So I don't think he's really holding back for them.
So Russians and innocent civilians, he doesn't care about.
Right, if you're an innocent civilian, then you're also can
then
die.
You're dead. You're crushed in your minivan by a friggin' shipping container.
Yeah.
Yeah. But man, we get how about the crazy. With the main henchman. So we see the main henchman with the tattooed hand.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. He wasn't the only one. A few of them had that tattoo hand.
There was more than one? Okay.
The guy at the store had it, the grocery store. So it must have made
okay. But the fact that the guy was like getting ready to kill himself, like that was
Yeah. No, it's it's funny, like that. I mean, the whole fight scene. He left him alive, Liam Neeson, but didn't he die when the cop showed up? Wasn't he dead? Because he was still laying on the steps. He wasn't moving.
Oh no, we're at the liquor store. We're not at that guy.
Oh, you're talking about the other. Okay, duh. Because you said the other Russian guy. I'm thinking of So no. The way, I was not expecting that. I mean, that was pretty. Well, you know what? Imagine the fear, though, that you have that that if you give any information away, you're going to die. So my best bet is to just shoot directly in my mouth and blow my brains out.
Insane. But he does spill a little bit, right?
That's the easy option.
Stewart, right? He mentioned Stewart at this point because this is the first inkling that he had. It had to do with Stewart because he said, "Why did you kill?" Because this is when he ambushes Stewart at the Malibu house and starts waterboarding him.
Ridiculous. See, like, doesn't that seem like that would take too long? Like wouldn't, like, to me, maybe chop a finger off. You know, like go hard, go hardcore right away, because I think, you know, with waterboarding, you probably, I've never been waterboarded, but I'm assuming maybe it takes by the third time you're done. Like, you can't handle, like, maybe the first one, like, you're choking, but maybe you can still handle it. Second one, all right, it's getting deeper. Third one, all right, I'm done. You chop a finger off right off the bat, they're gonna start speaking. You know, like, it's like, go hard, and they never do that. They always start slow. I don't know. If I'm torturing someone, I'm going right for the fingers.
I'm going right. What finger would be the first one you cut off? Like, pinky's like, maybe somebody's like, you know what, I can live with that one pinky.
Yeah, you can live without the pinky. I say thumb. I think you got
thumb.
And you know
That's
what?
An important thing.
It is an important one. And I think people always go for like the pointer finger or something like that, but I think the thumb.
Yeah, thumb or middle finger. Middle finger's pretty important because it's like the bridge.
Or do it like Saeed did in Lost and just lift the fingernails up.
Yeah. What is that? Is that in Rambo 2 when they're shoving the bamboo up the fingernails, or Rambo 3? One of the Rambo movies, they're doing that.
Did they?
I thought it was a Rambo movie, but it's like they put it in, they hammer.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then he finally,
I like how they were more grossed out by lifting the fingernails than chopping the finger off. You know, chopping the finger off, that's not that bit. You do? So you'd rather have your finger chopped off than getting your nails lifted up?
Because you're done when it's chopped off. You're done with it, and it's gonna heal pretty quick. Did you ever have a nail rip off in your life?
I have, but
it takes forever to heal, and it's the worst pain in the world.
But so you think it's more painful to lift your nail off than to chop your finger off? And you said, and it'll heal? What, it's gonna magically heal itself? Wait, you're worrying about the healing process, not the fact that he just chopped off the finger. That's gonna be so painful.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I've dropped something on my big toe when I was younger. I remember I tried to leave it on as long as I could, the nail, not like it was gonna like magically like go back, but man, it took forever for that nail to grow back, and it was the worst feeling. It was like weeks. Okay. My pinky, 5 seconds, it's gone. I'm hurting. A week later, I'll have some ice cream. I'll feel fine.
A week later, we're talking about the moment. We're not waiting. We're not talking about the healing process.
The moment's fine. It's just a pinky.
Oh
it's
my
not a
gosh.
big.
Oh, okay. All right. I would think that chopping a finger off has got to be the most painful thing ever.
All right, fine. Pinky toe. Those are so tiny. My little pinky toe.
Okay.
It's so tiny. Chop it up and wear it as a necklace or something.
Wait, so you think it's less painful if it's like a tiny pinky toe compared to like that's because it's the second toe is like maybe 2 inches longer, so that's gonna be really painful. But the pinky toe is because it's smaller. Okay,
it's so teeny tiny. It's like the size of a jelly bean. You just chop that bad boy off and be on your way. Just don't.
So you can just use a nail clipper and just cut it off and it'd be okay. It's like okay, all right.
I would have to fake it with the bad guys. Oh no, not my pinky toe. It's my favorite toe. And then when they chop it off, I have to really like give in that it's really painful. I have to sell them on it, or they're gonna be like, you know what, boss? Usually when people volunteer an appendage, that's the one that they're okay with losing.
Yeah, but
like,
you know what? We've learned these henchmen aren't that smart. They're not thinking that far ahead. So
that is true. Oh man. So then Stewart, after the third waterboarding, he says, "Oh, it's the Russian guy. I owe him a lot of money from business dealing. That's why Lenore's dead." And then he says, "Next, they're gonna be going after Kim." And like that's obviously for Brian. He's like, "Shit, this is what we got to do." And this is when all Brian's buddies show up at the house.
But for Stewart, knowing the type of person that Liam Neeson is, Liam Neeson just tortured you. You're still gonna play games with him? Like
I know.
I mean, like you have to know that your end game is going to be coming soon. Like you have to know that you're not going to get away with it, and Liam Neeson is going to end up killing you. Like you can't think that you're going to be okay. Like it just like, I don't know. Like for him to try to outsmart Liam Neeson, knowing his background, I think it's a poor plan.
Yeah, no, I just don't get Stewart's motive. It just doesn't make sense.
I know.
I understand the money, and he has a lot of houses, but
he's not dealing with the Russian mob, whatever, and a crazy Liam Neeson. I mean, like, so, like, what are your chances getting out of this alive?
Oh yeah, I know. No matter what, he was screwed, and the fact that it was like Liam Neeson and the Russian guy. In a few minutes, we'll get to that part.
Yeah.
They had this moment of like, man, we both got.
They did.
we both got
screwed. Yeah.
But I do love his buddies are so good that at the house they're able to get all the cops to, get handcuffed.
That scene was great because again, like even the cocky cops, like they were there, and like I think the one said you don't really want to do this, and then the other guy came in with the gun, and like it was just a good scene to show you like all these old school guys can outsmart these young cocky guys, easily.
Yeah. And this is the scene you talked about earlier with Forrest Whitaker when he's like talking to everybody, and he goes, Brian Mills, and he's going through all the people, and it's like, and he's naming all the other guys. I forget their names, Sam so and so, and then he's like, all of them. You know what they have in common? They work for the same company now. They all disappeared at the age of 24. At the age of 24, everything stops. You can't see where they lived. All this stuff.
Okay, you know what? I got to tell you something right now. Your accents were good. That was the worst Forrest Whitaker. Like, I mean, like you almost sounded like Italian. I don't know what you were aiming for.
I wasn't. I started and then I was like, I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna go with this.
You're gonna go with it.
That isn't him.
All right, because it was probably the furthest thing from Forrest Whitaker. I mean, I don't know how you would do his voice, but that was not it.
But it was just, again, so silly, the fact that he's like so shocked about these guys that were, okay, fine, we're way past this. You figured out the connection. And he even says that at the liquor store when he gets there, what does he say about the Russian guy? He goes, the Russian killed himself, but he said, where's the blood? That's what made no sense to me. When the guy said, when Forrest Whitaker says, the man killed himself,
right,
with a gun. There's no blood anywhere. There was no blood on the floor around his head. So what happened? They cleaned it up.
How did he know he killed? But how did he know he killed himself?
Oh, I don't know.
Because he used Liam Neeson had the gun on him, and he pulled Liam Neeson. So how did he know he killed himself?
Great question. There should have been security cameras there to actually figure it out. But the fact that there was no blood,
I know.
Were they doing it for a rating? Because there's not a lot of blood in this movie at all. There's really
it was
not.
Pretty graphic though when he shot himself in the mouth. That was pretty graphic.
No, it was. But the fact that we didn't see blood.
No, you're right. You're right. But let me ask you this. I mean, at this point, don't you think Forrest Whitaker should say, you know what, guys, we're doing so bad at all this. Let's just pack it in. Like, I mean, clearly he has no control of Liam Neeson because he's leaving bodies. There's crashes everywhere. There's, whatever's going on. Like, let's stop. And he's just like still going. Like, I mean, at what point do you say we're not going to be able to do this? Like, because he has no clue what's going on, and he's so far behind.
Yeah,
the 8 ball of what's going on.
No, you know what's so funny? What do we see if you ever watch any true crime documentaries or any other movies that have like the local cops? What happens? The FBI comes in. Oh, why wasn't the FBI involved in this?
Yeah,
it was just them. There wasn't like the guys that they walk in and they have like the slick back hair, black sunglasses, and they're like, FBI, this is our investigation now. No, nothing like that. It's like, this guy that is in charge of the investigation hasn't caught this guy. And a ton of things are blowing up in the city, and it's still continuing. Yeah, let's have him keep being in charge of this.
Well, how about the minute you realize that there's nothing on these guys since they're 24? Clearly, there's some kind of underground government or whatever. How about reach out to the FBI? or something. Like, see, like, do you know anything about this company or what's going, like, you know, like, no, let's just deal with the local cops. This seems like a job for the local cops.
Yeah, you couldn't call like Brian Mills, like training officer or somebody that knows him to get some information. No, we're just gonna keep trying to figure this out on our own.
And how trained are these local cops to handle the situation like this?
Exactly.
I mean, like, you know, like, I mean, like, I'm sure they've dealt with murders before, you know, like, but this is beyond just murder. This is a guy that's a lethal weapon who's like, you know, like they're not trained for this. Like, they easily should have went to the, you know, but no. Forrest Whitaker thinks he's got a handle on it because he keeps holding meetings. He keeps holding meetings. So, like, you know, that's...
So they're not even on the road looking for them. They go, okay, you know, guys, we got to meet back in the office in traffic. So, and we're going to meet, and it's going to be an hour meeting.
And he's got a whiteboard. He's got a whiteboard that's going to clear everything up. You know, that's, you know.
And a clicker, the finger clicker, so we can go from photo to driver's license to driver's license of each guy.
So
my
stupid.
God. And then we get, how about they tell Stewart to call Malenkoff in order to like meet with him to say he has the money. And isn't it amazing? Like, this Malenkoff guy, that he wasn't really in the movie a lot, but he was a great crazy bad guy.
Oh yeah.
Because he was on the phone. He got interrupted while on the phone by like one of his like main henchmen and said, "Hey, call." And while he was interrupted from aiming a sniper rifle at a girl. Like, was he really gonna shoot her, or was he just peeping? But he was like ready to
I think he was peeping. I think he was peeping. Yeah, I think he was peeping.
That. And
yeah,
that's
I know.
great.
Well, how about the fact that like Stewart's bringing over the money, but like, you know, you would think like he'd be ready, or just, first of all, the fact that he heard that Stewart has the money already, which
I know,
just how
fishy.
soon, like he said, like, yeah, very fishy, and he didn't seem worried because he was hanging around with two women at the same time while Stewart was on his way. So yeah,
yes, he was like, yeah, let me get busy. This guy's bringing me $12 million or whatever it is. Let me just fart around because that's nothing. That's just chump change.
Yeah.
Well, it seems
ridiculous.
like there's a building somewhere that the security to get in the building was insane. The fact that somebody from like the penthouse has to like cue them in from like a camera. It was like this really involved thing. I'm like, okay, we know what's going to happen.
It was very involved, but it was very easy to get into and block. So you would think something that involved in that high tech, it would be hard to sneak in, you know, with the, you know, like what is it called? You know, like when a computer intercepts whatever, you know, what I forget whatever. Anyway, forget what I'm saying. But the fact that Sam's able to block the cameras and do all this, like,
no, he did the thing they always do in movies, which they record.
Yeah. So you see the same thing over and over again.
For like 4 seconds, and then they just kept
but
running.
This is this is the high tech security, and it was that easy for Sam to get in there while he's in a truck that has all this equipment.
Yeah, the truck they were sneaking because Liam Neeson was making a delivery. Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Come on, man. It's on my route. Come on. Can I just get in there and make this delivery? Like one of those. Okay, fine.
It's ridiculous.
But I did love Sam being a huge dick when Stewart was like trying to talk. Maybe that's why Stewart shot Sam first. Or he only shot Sam, right?
No, he only shot Sam, and then because he wanted to take this daughter as hostage.
Yeah. Because he was like,
why is...
Yeah.
I mean, again, Stewart should have been, you know, tied up. I mean, without a doubt. You know, so, but yeah. What were you going to say?
Stewart's like, yeah, I can go up with the money now. And then, good one, Stewart. That's what Sam said. He's like typing, he stops like, good one, Stewart.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man. But when they get up there, dude, we talked about how they slipped. It was so silly. He knocks out the two guys. They do the repeating footage. But then when he's up there, the guy is like very like Conor McGregor looking because the way he moves and he's lanky and he's wearing a robe, tighty whities, and you just get like some of the worst shooting ever. They have
machine guns. They have machine guns. And okay, so this is obviously this guy is going to hire the best people to protect him and his money and everything else. These guys go down so quickly. Like it's like that movie. I think Shoot 'Em Up with Paul Giamatti. When he's like, is he that good, or are we just that bad? Yeah. You know, are they just that bad, or is Liam Neeson that good that he could take down this guy's best security? Like, I mean, with ease. And again, they have machine guns, and he only has like a pistol.
And I love that the guy thought he was like going to pull a cigar and be like, "Oh, I want to fight this guy. I want to choke him out to death," instead of just shooting him when he's like on the ground. And then obviously, that doesn't work out for him pretty quick.
Do you think that really happens in movies? I mean, in real life, in a situation like, I mean, like the guy will like, you know what? Let's have a man-to-man fight. Like, forget like. I don't think it's ever happened. Like, I don't think there's ever a bad guy that's done something and says, you know what, we got like Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon 1. I don't think it's ever happened in real life ever.
Or a good guy. Like, could you imagine that story? It's like, oh, how did your husband? I know he's a cop. How did he die? Well, he had a guy. He was a bad guy. He had the gun pointed at him. And instead of keeping the gun pointed on him and arresting him, he said, I'm going to put this gun down and let's go one-on-one.
Let's go.
It's like, who would ever do that?
No. You know what would happen? The bad guy would immediately take the gun and shoot him. The minute he puts his gun down. Like, I want to see that in a movie. Like, they should have like either the good guy or the bad guy say, all right, let's do this. Let's fight man to man. And whoever puts the gun down first, the other one shoots him.
Yeah, and then he's like bleeding. He's like, "Hey, man, I thought we were gonna do one-on-one." It's almost like the Old West, like when they used to do the 10 paces. Like, you know what? The end goal is not to die. So what if I stopped at 7, shot the guy in the back, and then I win? Would other people shoot me then because I didn't take the 3 more steps? I'm still alive, not the other guy.
It reminds me of the movie Real Men with John Ritter and Jim Belushi. Yeah. You've seen that? When he's fighting the clowns, look who are these clowns? And he goes, all right, they're making rules. They're like, all right, no kicking in the nuts. Jim Belushi. That's one of my favorite scenes. But who are these clowns?
It's just so silly that the guy had a chance to like kill Liam Neeson, who again I'm sure he probably sort of knows who he is. And let's do this. And I love that he shoots him twice, and then he finds out that they're both being played.
But however, if the guy is correct and he's able to take out Liam Neeson, what does that make him like look? It makes him look good. Like, I took him out, so he took a gamble. I think that's what it is. Like, you take that gamble. Like, it's like the Monday morning quarterback, whatever. Like, all right, I'm going to take his chance. And if I win, I'm going to be moving higher in the list of, whatever.
The rank.
But if I lose, I'm dead.
Yeah. If you had like the post-game press conference, the post-fight press. So what were you thinking there, Mr. Russian bad guy? I was thinking that I kill Brian Mills, but I don't kill Brian Mills. I don't know. It was just stupid. And the fact that, so this is like, it was kind of convoluted because they didn't really explain it, even though he did mention, because it almost made it seem like the Russians didn't even, so that's what I don't understand. Like, I know Stewart was playing them, but what was Stewart telling the Russians about Brian? Like, oh, you have to kill this Brian guy because what? Why?
Yeah, I didn't understand that part. Like, I don't know.
That made no sense. Like, well, unless Stewart said, "Oh, Brian's gonna kill you because he knows that you killed his wife," but I don't know.
But he didn't say that.
I know he didn't. That's what I mean.
Yeah. I don't know.
We just got this weird reveal of like, oh, we got played because he's like,
we both got played.
Stewart. Yep. Yeah. And then when that happens, we cut back, and then that's when Stewart pulls the gun and shoots Sam right in the chest.
Yeah. Which again is on Liam Neeson because he should have been tied up. So another
should have been tied up.
Kill count. Kill count.
But Stewart is a terrible bad guy in the sense of he didn't think that Liam Neeson or Brian Mills, that has all this amazing technology, he's able to do all these things, doesn't have like a tracker on his, like, find my iPhone on his daughter's phone. Like,
again, he knows who Liam Neeson is. He's been one step of everything. He snuck into your house, without, like, you don't think he's going to be able to find you? you know, like, you know, whatever. So like, yeah, I mean, yeah, terrible. But like I said, like, so he doesn't kill the Russian because he says, you know, I should kill you, he said, but he doesn't. But when the cop showed up, he's dead.
I know.
That made no sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get two obviously I've never been shot, and I know I know one gunshot can obviously kill someone, but yeah, it seemed like he wasn't dead, like even close to dying.
But why wouldn't it? Because they're the ones that killed his wife. So like now you want to play soft and not kill someone? Like I would think of all people, this is the guy you do want to kill.
Yeah, no, that's true.
You know, so yeah.
Because he has restraint against the Russian guy and doesn't finish him off. And then he has super restraint with Stewart at the very end, which we'll get into in a few minutes.
Yeah.
But the fact that how about the plane is taking off? And he, again, his daughter's on this plane, okay?
Okay, this is not reckless. Like I thought he was gonna drive there and like jump on the plane somehow or whatever. Like,
I thought he was just gonna park in front of it. To make them, we've seen that in so many movies, and then they're like, "Okay, we can't run this car over."
You think this plane is a getaway? You think the parking the car in front of a plane that's going how fast on the runway is going to stop it?
Yeah, the pilot might get nervous and slam on the brakes. I've seen that in movies before.
This is the getaway plane. They're gonna ram him. Yes, it does because it's the only guy in the way.
You think the guy flying the plane is part of a bad guy? He's probably just a hired
100%. No way. No, so he's a hired pilot that's seeing this guy have a hostage onto the plane. You think he's just a hired guy?
So then you sort of have to agree with Liam Neeson because there was no other option.
Well, I thought he was going to pull like a Tom Cruise and jump on the plane or something, and somehow I don't know. Listen, it is Liam Neeson.
Put a brick down there, put like a shoe, prop it, and then dive.
Excuse me, that's so unbelievable. Everything else he did. We didn't even talk about the fact that his car went down the elevator shaft and blew up the building. Okay,
I know.
So which again killed how many people that were in that building at the time? And he was able to escape again. You know, where the whole building exploded, he escaped. So that's believable. But him jumping on a plane is not. Okay.
Well, I don't think any of it's believable.
Well, okay. But yes, I think it's so. I mean, I guess he had to do it, but his daughter was on a plane, and he's causing a plane crash. You know,
and we saw like flames, like from the outside shot when it hit.
Yes.
It was like, oh my God, is his daughter about to die? But just the way, dude, that stunt was wild. And I don't know if Fred was in the credits. He was listed as a pilot, so I don't know if that was part of his scene. If he was, I don't know if that was him, but it was wild when it hit. It looked so good.
Yeah.
Like that
was a good scene.
It was wild.
And you have to think that your daughter's not wearing a seatbelt on this plane.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't think safety first is coming on. Like she probably wants to be as flexible as she can so she can try to escape. So that crash, people are flying around because it was a pretty big crash.
The pilot fell into the back. We saw the pilot fall into the back in the But the ending of the movie, even though I thought Stewart was a terrible, like one of the worst bad guys in a movie ever. Not worse as in like, oh man, he's a real bad guy.
No.
Well, no, he is a bad guy. But the fact that it was like so quick, like it was like nothing. I would love to have been like,
but
Liam Neeson's injured, like really injured, and some kind of
but he's not. I mean, because he does look like a wimp. I mean, he acts like a wimp the whole movie kind of thing. So like it would like that's like and again, Liam Neeson doesn't have a scratch on him the entire movie. So there really is no ending with him. And like it would have been better if the Russian was on that plane, and that's like the last fight. Like but this was,
if it was Kim's boyfriend, like you were saying. If it was Kim's boyfriend,
that would have been better. Right. That would have been a little better. So okay.
But no, it was just so quick. He makes
I know.
He has the gun pointed at him. Kim, knocks, punches him. And then Liam Neeson shoots him a few times. And then you're thinking he's going to murder him. And then he does, I know with your connections and your money, you'll be out in 5 years. I was like, 5 years? for what he went, like, no joke. Like, I know there's some people that get out of jail early when they commit heinous crimes, but his is like really involved. Like,
yeah, but he said his
fraud, murder,
but
his wife.
connections would his connections, so he wouldn't go. But like, not for nothing, Liam Neeson could have just probably shot him right in the head while he was holding. I mean, it is Liam Neeson, so he has the aim to do that. But the fact that she knew to do it, you know, like, again, that's what I did like. I do like her relationship with her dad, that they know each other so well. Yeah, that she knew that as soon as I do this, my dad's ready.
But that is worse. Usually it's like, hey, I want that person to rot in prison forever. Like, you know, whenever, like in movies, like victims always want that. So it's, even though he's going to get out in 5 years, that line of, when you get out, I will find you. I'm like, whoa.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Always looking over his shoulder. Like, you don't know if this, well, you know, if you look behind you and there's 6'5" lurking.
Well, you know that, you know, when he goes to prison, he's like counting the days, and he knows as he gets closer, he does something wrong, so he stays in prison a little longer, because he's like counting like the calendar days that I can't leave, so he's got to keep staying there longer.
He's like getting ready to get out. He's like, all right, today's the day. And he's like, really? Yep, today's the day. And he's like, I'm sorry about this, Frank. What? Punches the cop in the face. All right, another 90 days. And he just like keeps, that'd be a funny movie. That'd be a good bit. I never want to get out of jail. Like, and that'd be the whole thing. The guy just doing whatever to stay in. The stupidest. Yeah. It's good.
Because he knows someone's waiting for him. Yeah, see?
Yeah.
A couple good ideas today.
Yeah. So, and then right away with Forrest is talking to him in the police station, and
but
the bagels.
But okay, ridiculous. But so, like, Liam Neeson did commit a bunch of crimes, though. I mean, does he go to jail? I mean, so he gets a. I mean, he did escape. Like, he beat up cops. He escaped. He killed people. He crashed. I mean, like, he did commit crimes. You know, so like, does he get away with it?
I would hope he's on probation or something. There has to be something that he has to, even though what happened, maybe they can take money from Stewart to pay for all the people.
Listen, John Rambo even went to prison.
Yeah.
In First Blood. So, you know, and he didn't kill anyone. So how is it any different?
Yeah,
he accidentally killed someone.
The way,
he accidentally
Danny Glover and Mel Gibson, like, they blow up buildings, and they're only on like they're on probation for 2 days.
They work the streets. That's their punishment.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're still making your salary, but you got to work the streets for a week. Oh no. But that's like with this. It's like, all right, all these things happen. All right, you're good now.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
The warm bagels. The fact that he goes, I knew you right from the beginning that it wasn't you. Who would go out and buy bagels and then murder their wife? I'm like,
so whose idea was behind the scenes thinking that's a good running gag, like a good running thing to have, like bagel, like it's just so dumb. Like it's I
wrote down the next big podcast. It would be the warm bagel killer. That could be like somebody's MO. I'm gonna buy warm bagels and murder someone and leave them at the scene.
But again, the fact that he said, I knew the whole time. Really? Like, so Liam Neeson should say, you knew the whole time, yet you chased me throughout this whole movie, but you knew the whole time?
And people died. Because so maybe that's why he's not going to press charges, because he's like, I screwed up too, man. I screwed up. I knew you. I should have like told you, hey, we're good, and we should have like worked with you.
All right, so that makes sense now.
So maybe that's why he's covered his own ass. He puts he finally takes the rubber band off his hand that has Brian Mills and like the case file number. And then he puts it onto the envelope and
so dumb. That's it.
No. Then we find out they're keeping the baby, and if it's a girl, we're gonna name it after mom.
Oh yeah, and it ends. It starts off Hallmarky and ends Hallmarky.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the music. It was very like Hallmark music. Ridiculous.
Yeah. God. So that was Taken 3. One thing I thought was interesting, and I guess it makes sense because of the names, but the credits were Neeson, Whitaker, Jansen, and then a big space, then an and then a big space, and then the rest of the cast. I was like, all right, that's pretty ballsy to do that to everyone else.
To separate yourself. Yeah.
Couldn't they just do like order of appearance? Or something? Well, I guess if they did that, then Forrest Whitaker would have been far down because he came in like 15, 20 minutes in. But so we talked about like ways we could have fixed the movie. I love your call of having the boyfriend. I thought that would have been great. But would you have anybody would you recommend somebody to watch this installment if they've seen the other two? Do you feel like you have to complete it?
You have to. You have to. Again, I don't think it's an entertaining movie. It's not a good movie. But it like you said it perfectly. It moves, so it does move. But it's a dumb movie. But again, it's like the Expendables, right? I mean, I've seen all the Expendables. They're all the same. They're all silly. They're not great movies, but they're entertaining. And I think, especially since you're already involved with the first two Takens, I would say you absolutely have to watch this. But understand that it's not Taken. So it's basically you're watching a remake of The Fugitive because Tommy Lee Jones
the way
and
they
Forrest
basically
Whitaker
ripped that whole thing.
The whole thing.
Like, I wouldn't be shocked if it's the same writer, or somebody that watched it's like, hey, how'd you come up with this idea? It's like, well, I fell asleep watching The Fugitive, and I guess it slipped into my brain because that's what this movie is. The same thing, except this guy really has a particular set of skills, and Harrison Ford just luckily escaped every time. There was sort of skill involved, but he just happened to just leave when Tommy Lee Jones showed up or Joey Pants.
See, another way they could have made the movie better, although it probably, I mean, listen, if they're going to have Maggie Grace as an older college student, I was going to say make a prequel of Taken of Liam Neeson. Like how we learned those particular set of skills.
Well, I think that's what the TV series covers. I never watched it. There was a TV series.
I never watched it either.
CBS, I believe.
So the TV series is also not about Taken. Like no one's taken in that movie, in that series.
I'm sure every episode somebody's taken or something like that. It seems like it's one of those procedural cop shows. I'm sure it's the same running story in the back, but then there's
is it still on TV?
Person taken. I don't think so. It was there was a whole run of all those shows that were they were taking movies and putting them. It was only 2018, 2019. There was a huge run of that.
Oh, okay.
But
interesting.
Not for me.
All right.
But I'm not saying not to watch it, and I just didn't like it because I don't like even if a movie is a great action movie, I still want a good bad guy. And just knowing that I knew who the bad guy was and knowing that the bad guy sucked. If it was a great bad guy and it was supposed to be this hidden sort of thing,
right?
It was just I don't know, come out and say it right in the beginning. Oh, it's Stewart and he's running the whole movie or something. It was just silly that it's the guy that we think as the audience is the killer. You're gonna invite him to hang out and be involved after you waterboarded him.
You have an action movie with the main guy is no one can take down, and your main villain is an accountant.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. So it's like any other movie. You want someone that's going to be able to go toe to toe with Liam Neeson. That's the bad guy you want. You want some kind of fight scene at the end. And with this one, again, you have the Liam Neeson versus a guy that has no particular set of skills.
None. But so that was Taken 3. Up next is going to be a sequel I never even knew existed, but I enjoyed the first one. I did watch most of the movie. I don't like to watch the full movie when I do interview preparation because I want it to be fresh for when me and Jamie are talking, especially if it's a movie I've never seen before. And that is Vacancy 2, the first cut, which is it's a sequel, but it talks about how I guess that hotel became what it was that we saw in the first one. And it was a great interview. Actress, model, Agnes Bruckner. So cool to talk to her. She's a star of the movie. Her name's Jessica in the movie. But we talked about her career. She had a very interesting life. Her parents they met. They were Europeans that met trying to escape the tyrannical Eastern European. They met, fell in love, moved to LA, and we talked about her childhood that kind of molded her life. But it was crazy the fact that she was on The Bold and Beautiful really early on. She was young, and then from there she was always working always working. And she was in big movies. Like she was on 24 for 5-6 episodes. She was in Murder by Numbers with Sandra Bullock. She was in that Glass House movie. So many movies she was in, and she was in The Fugitive TV series from 2001. Which I don't know who was in that series. I feel like they just rebooted that one 5 years ago. But lots of fun. She was cool to talk to, and it was really neat because she grew up in LA and she did a lot of moving around as a kid, and just talking to her about, because she was a tomboy, and then she played the role of Anna Nicole Smith. And it's always cool whenever I talk to somebody that played a real life person, and it was pretty interesting to hear about how she got into the role, the way they gave her prosthetics so she could match what Anna Nicole has. And it was really neat to hear her behind the scenes, how she got into the character, how she got the role because they wanted her to do the role. It was pretty cool. She was a lot of fun. So yeah, so that'll be next week. And then after that, it'll be Vacancy 2, which I feel like you can find that a bunch of places. I feel like I found that pretty easy. I'll make sure to post that next week. But yeah, so don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast, follow us on all social media at Sequels Only, and don't forget to check out our website, sequelsonly.com. Good night.
Good night.